Hello. So I was like doing the thumbnail and then I was gonna like flash these really quick, but it didn't. It took when I was in the middle of whatever, so my hand's kind of blurred. But if you're seeing this, I am 99.9999999% confident that you know that La Fruma was made available on the 1st of May globally. I can't tell you if it's sold out or if it's still available. I don't know. But I figured that in not truly returning to the original series I did, um, but in an homage to both that and the archetypes I've been doing, in theory. Eve, how are you doing? Are you enjoying your vacation so far? Or are y'all hard at work over there in La Fruma Central? Hey Sandra, how you doing? May has been so interesting. Hey, I'm glad to hear it. Ever since like Pluto went retrograde May 1st, and it felt like a sigh of relief. Like it felt like things were moving, like the scorpionic ice caps had melted a little bit. Um, and then yesterday happened. And yesterday wasn't bad. And then today happened. So it's a little bit of a roller coaster. You've already shipped a bunch. Whoop, 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 whoop. So there are more and more and more folks who will soon be getting their hands on the La Fruma Healing Oracle deck. I almost called it something else, but I completely didn't have that thought in my mind. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get one La Fruma, and then I'm gonna clarify it with the little raw rooms that I did, and we'll see. We'll see what's up. But yeah, the animals are animaling, the numbers are numbering, life is lifing. So I had my third interview today. I had my third interview today. I didn't know that the process would be this involved, but this today it involved a tour. And as I'm walking around on the tour, amazed by human ingenuity, um, and also at how so many processes and how so many things are like interlinked and interconnected to make a product. Um, and it's like, just as there are different organs within the body that function to make a hopefully relatively healthy individual, like we see that all over. Like it takes all kinds of people, it takes all kinds of organs, it takes all kinds of cells, it takes all kinds of departments within an operation to make a thing work. And to me, like that's the beauty, I guess, of like the spiritual in the average, ordinary, everyday, mundane. And that's where I like sort of light up. You know what I mean? But also, like, I have Capricorn. I have what Uranus and Neptune conjunct in Capricorn, where my midheaven is, and I dream of water cooler talk and cubicles with personal calendars and photos, and I'm boring like that. Office supplies. Like one of my friends, I think she's a Capricorn. She just posted a picture on her Instagram story that was like, does anyone else remember being a kid and like being so excited to grow up and be an adult and order like checks, and it was like all the different check books that you can get are like the designs of the checks, and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I remember. Low key, high key, that was me. And then my checks are like plain AF, and people don't even use checks anymore. But I still have like 3 books of them. Anyway, this is what I'm gonna do today. Oh, also when I was on a tour after the amazement, and as I was like walking through and looking at what I would need to be doing, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is why I stayed where I was. Because if I didn't stay where I was, I would have been so much more nervous about the outside of the lab part of the job. But since I was forced to, by virtue of staying and toughing it out and being a team player and all kinds of stuff, since I was heavily encouraged by the universe to like face that uncomfortability, now when I knew that I had to do it today, I was like, oh, okay, like cool. Like, I'd be able to do this. And it was just, I don't know, because if again, like if I would have left when I left and sought this opportunity, oh, bliss, win, comfort, let's go. With Vindhorn at the bottom of the deck. Love it. Love it. Um, like if I would have left and came here, I would have had this exact same issue. And I would have been like, oh, sorry, no, it's not for me. Like I can't do it, blah, 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 blah. But since I faced it, I can. And it was just like, wow, okay. And it's just been that, like, I've been talking about it because I just keep noticing how well Saturn and my Saturn return prepared me for, like, to move forward with my life and to continue on doing things that I want to do. Um, and, it was also just, like I said, I had my Saturn return when everything was crazy and happening and whatever. So, anyway. You haven't written a check since 2004. I've looked at my checkbook, and the last check I wrote a few when I was on campus was like 2013, 2013, 2014. And it was to like put money on my campus like debit card for Boiler Express. I was like, oh my gosh, 2000 and whatever. But there are some people in town that like only take checks. They like you can't pay online or whatever. So I went looking for my book. Ooh, Ash and Feyor. See, in the original, this is Perth. No, this isn't Perth. Yeah, this is Perth now. Because Feyor is no. Yeah, yeah. Girl, I don't know. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure Feyor and Perth. I don't think they got necessarily switched, but I'm pretty sure the name of this rune has changed. Fire Ether Life with the personal Yggdrasil. Oof, love that. Love that. That means that the Yggdrasil has been healed with that U energy and is now pumping that ether life through its uh, xylem flowing veins. It's unblocked veins. Okay, so let's get into it. But yeah, I got that. And it seemed like just in general, like there were a lot of things like that happened in my own personal life Monday. And then I noticed that there were some other things that happened Monday. La Fruma was launched Monday. It seemed like, and I talked to like my journey buddy. It seemed like, hey David, how you doing? As soon as Pluto went retrograde, some stuff was like, okay, now it's time to begin. And we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Should I get some on Pluto retrograde? Have I talked about it? Have I pulled? I don't think I've pulled. All right, La Fruma. Do your magic thingy. You may see some wobble. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm like right in front of the laptop today. I'm also like, I think I'm getting a better balance of like me in the screen. And now now that I've changed my light bulbs, I don't need this TV blaring light at me and like cooking me. Also, last night I was going to bed and I was like, Google, turn off the lights in 2 minutes. And Google was like, okay. And I was like, oh my gosh, Siri couldn't. I was like, Google, turn off the lamp and turn on the fan. And Google was like, okay. I was like, Siri would never. Siri would be like, either do the first thing or the last thing. I was like, okay, all right. We're moving along. We're moving forward anyway. Let me breathe. I just got excited for a second. Maybe Mercury retrograde was like, yeah, it's time for you to upgrade your tech. Time for you to modernize. Or just keep having issues. It's up to you. All right. Also, I've had some Oracle juice. I had a little bit of Oracle juice left, and I drank all of it before I started. So I have backup Oracle juice right here. Oops. Oh, and it's pink. It matches. This isn't sponsored. But hey Holly, how you doing? Always. I know I'm gonna drink it out of the bottle because I'm the only person that drinks, and usually I have like a little glass or a little cup or whatever. You can judge me if you want. All right. What is this? Jasmine and rose. It's not bad. Cookapoo joy juice. And I also have water because it's important to hydrate. And I've been doing a lot of not hydrating. It's like whenever I get tea or anything else, I'll drink that instead of water. All right. Are we ready? I feel like I should do something. I don't have my sound bowl. I do have a bell. Where are my other bells? I have this bell. Ring the bell to wish them well. And I wish you all. Oh, here it is. I was like, I know I have another bell. Oh, come on. Come on. I don't know. Okay. Are we good? My ears are starting to go a little warm. I think the Oracle juice is kicking in. Hagal, Hail Weathering at the bottom of the deck. I kind of like this, though. To clarify, we're just going to go for it. To clarify, Hagal is Ing. Yeah. 922. So it almost, oh, look, and then there's you. It almost makes me think of, because I was like, the scorpionic ice is melting. But the Hagal weathering, it almost feels like it was like building up. And then with this Ing Ignite Water Meadow, it's going to start flowing. So on the haggling on the Hagaling. Oop. Yep. Let's do one more of these. See if any. Okay. Oh. Oh. Oh, no. No, not the floor. Needle stitch. I don't know. I'm pretty sure some of the numbers changed between as it was going through its process. Oh, look, number 13, still 13. You, sacral, fell on the floor. Guess what's at the bottom of the deck after Hagal? You. The first card that flipped over is Sigil, which is Sun and Life Force. And then the second card that flipped over is Leaf, Become. There you go. So we have Sigil Leaf You. No, Sigil and Leaf. But this makes sense. Because I was walking on a chalk, um, an unrecorded chalk the other day. And there was a patch like tulips are popping up everywhere. And there was a patch that were like facing a certain direction. And like plants turn to face the sun. But this is like, I know it's not like, I think leaf it has unfurl now. But there's something about the leaf's interaction with the sun. And at the same time, it's like it's this sun life force that's melting the ice. But that was already at the bottom of the deck, I'm pretty sure. So that's just like a thing. And yeah, that was life force. It was the Feyor that was at the bottom or whatever. Oop. Oh gosh. So now we're gonna see. Now we're gonna see. Should I leave these out? I'm gonna put them back just in case they want to come. I'll leave them out. It's like, yeah, so Hagaling. I'm gonna put the raw runes back though. Virgo power. What is it? What was the Wonder Twins? Okay. All right, Lafruma. Pretty sure that was just at the bottom. Hagal. Pluto retrograde Aquarius. Or just the Pluto retrograde in general, because it's also going to retrograde back into Capricorn. Pluto retrograde Aquarius. You see these two cards sticking up? I'm going to take them. Bottom of the deck is Treadle. Treadle is Soul Footprints. Tread Soul Prints. Put you right here. The two cards that came out, it's Candle, Day Star, and Rasa, Explore, Alchemize. So that life force energy, that's like coming back, that's melting whatever has been like built up and packed into the ice, that's now flowing with this ing. 22-9, it's 42 and 73. Now we're exploring that. Candle and Condor, Hod and Balder, the micro, the macro, two locks on one door, two flames, not the same, but lit from one match. The mortal lighted in Midgard burns as a candle here, yet blazes immortal as ether there. We guard our delicate light from being blown out again and again and again. Know you are eternally ignited. 2 elven keys are required to unlock the door back to there. Trust your flickering wick holds your flame, hail and sure. That's my lunar eclipse room, by the way, Rasa. And then health is my solar eclipse room. Poisonally. Ooh. Kanafa. All right. Now let's get some raw runs on this. Oh. Ooh. I'm going to just take that one. Jifu, gift generosity. Bottom of the raw runes. And one card came out and flipped over face down. It's Ventorn, 63, being unbound. Being and unbound. Excuse me. I kind of like being unbound though. Like being, like just how it's written. It's not like being unbound, it's being, pause, unbound. An unbounded being. Which, especially off of the Hagaling, it makes sense. The weathering of this water feels as if, again, it were frozen. And that was the water weathering whatever it needed to when it was in a state of not flow. Like how we persevere through something, like the water was persevering, almost like in the form of ice. Because water is a naturally fluid. Well, water is an element that matches whatever environment it's in. If it's enclosed, it's still, it fills a vessel. So I don't know if water itself necessarily has a strong preference for whether or not it's still or solid or flowing. Like our waters and well, oceans are big enough that it's like still in terms of like it not necessarily flowing in a certain direction, but then you also get waves. You know what I mean? But like a pond is still. And it seems like the water in the pond is perfectly fine to just be there. So it's like this is the unbound state of that water, which makes sense because like ice is bound water. I haven't even started yet, and we're already getting Sagittarian. Let's go. Because like bound water in terms of like food is water that is like no matter how much you dry the food, that water will stay in the food because it's bound by molecular forces, it's bound by the structure of the food, and then you have free water. Free water is water that'll freeze. If you freeze it, it'll evaporate if you heat it. That's water that the food has to lose. And so if it's being unbound, it's almost like so through the totality of this, it would be like the connection between the self and the higher self, or like the self and a future self, or even a past self. Like there's a part of us that doesn't change no matter what we go through or where we are. It's that more immutable truth within us. And then there are certain parts of ourselves that are more present at one particular time of our life or another, or they're more present in like one environment or one situation more so than another. And that is like the free self. That's the self that can leave and come and go. It's like sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. The bound self is the core that we maintain no matter what. But this unbound self, like I'm reading it as a higher self because if you could see it, it's almost like just like if you put like a food in a microwave or on the oven, on this in the oven or like on a stove top. As you're heating it up, there's water that'll evaporate and like rise out of the food, but it becomes water vapor. So it's like this higher self is basically the vapors of the self. As we go through a certain process, it all rises, but it feels like it sits on top of the self, but in some like airy, spiritual, like immaterial way. So yeah, it's the higher self, or there are many different things to call it. Mm, that makes sense. Cool. So Pluto was coming in. I feel like I need another deck, but I don't really. Like I feel like that's it. And this is for the Pluto retrograde. So it's like there's the bound self and then the unbound self. The reason why it feels like the connection between the self and the higher self, or the self and a past or future version of the self, is because it feels like both are present and it feels like it's almost highlighting the communication between the two, which sort of poses an interesting whatever because it's almost like in this space, are we drawn towards the future self? Are we pulled back towards a past self? Through both of those and the current iteration of the self, does it highlight some of those immutable truths to us? And as we sort of see that, it's almost like time is on the x-axis, and then higher, lower self is on the y-axis. And I guess either way it would sort of work, but it feels like because it's easier typically for us to see typically. It's like if we look at past versions of the self and future versions of the self that we can feel that we feel the divine is like leading us towards. Like when you know it's for you, you know it's for you. You know what I mean? And the current version of the self, it's like as you find those immutable truths within you, it feels like it increases your awareness of your higher sort of like potentials through that whatever. And Pluto's here to retrograde to show us. It can go any kind of way. Let's get one more. That's the gift of Pluto retrograde. The gift of Pluto is this unbound self. And it's like, yeah, some of them will take it in Fliss and Earth Grab. Oh, I love these two together. Because Fliss is flow. And then Lagu is between. Lagu is right there. This is the flow, and Willow resistance was behind Earth's grab. It's the flow of what's held by the Earth. But again, like on the Earth feels like this, like our time down here. And then as we can sort of see or notice or witness something about our time down here, it also increases our understanding. And that's like the release of whatever's being held by the Earth. Cool. So that's Pluto. Did I see this in a dream? Myself, mankind. I feel like I saw this rune in a dream or something. Like I feel like I've seen it somewhere and it wasn't on a card. Weird. Okay. I'm gonna get one more. I don't want this to be too lengthy today. I like dressed up and everything. I was feeling good today. I was like I dressed up. I dressed up. I have these vests that I love. I love them. I got a new vest, but I interviewed in the new vest. I was like, I can't wear the same vest twice. I need more vests, but anyway, I got two, and I wore the other one, and I was like, and then I got this like Columbia that was much more expensive than I thought it was. Um, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. It was a different time. My friend was like, yeah, this store is kind of pricey. The store was expensive. There's a difference between expensive and kind of pricey. It's my Taurus. Taurus is also ruled by Venus, It was also comfortable. Like let me tell you, they're also comfortable, which is the most important. The most important is the comfort. But like nice comfy. So I get dressed up and then she's like, yeah, we're going on a tour. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I didn't even have to dress up. But because I dressed up, I was talking to my mom. I was like, I want to go eat lunch. I want to go somewhere. I'm all dressed up and nowhere to go. And I don't typically like feel like that, you know what I mean? Faye was at the bottom of the bed in a card film before. Hang True came out. Hang True came out recently for like the first time. It was Hang True and something else. Elks. Hang True and Elks. But yeah, I got these khakis that are like so comfortable. So comfortable. And they look nice. I was like, oh. I didn't take a picture though or anything. So all right. Hang True 75, Elks 15. A difference of 60. 60 is the devil. The second six. It's the devil and the fool. Through virtue of, well, no, not really. It's just the devil. I mean, anything is anything plus the fool. No, because the fool holds 22. Or it sits at 21. The world sits at 22 because it can be zero. This is so. So, oh, karaoke night. Oh, snap. Well, hopefully it's fun. You see all of the like the sweets, the semi sparkles over here, and the hint of whatever and hang true, and then the cosmic deer in elks. It feels like in this hang true, it feels like this cosmic deer is stepping forward in this hang true energy. Interesting. Oh no. There went a bottle. There. Ooh, I was one of my friends. One of my friends. He sent me a snap last night. He's in San Diego, and he was at a bar because it's like $2 tacos and domestic Mexican beer or something like that. And I was like, man, like there was a place called Jake's on campus, and from like 2 to 5 they had half price appetizers, and then on Thursday it was fishbowl Thursday. So on Thursdays during half price appetizers, that was my happy spot. And I was just telling him about how much I miss discounted food and drinks. I was like, man, I miss it. And then he was like, well, he was like, I'm taking some time away in the summer. If you want a place to stay in San Diego, you can use my apartment. I was like, I'm just like, I'm about to start work and I don't know if I'll have enough vacation, but I would love to like take him up on that. Which is kind of wild in its own right, but I guess not really. But it kind of is, you know what I mean? So catch me in San Diego, I guess. I don't know, this summer. Maybe it'll work out. One of my good friends just moved to San Diego from Detroit, and another one of my buddies is in San Diego. And I just found out that somebody else is in San Diego. I'm like, everybody's in San Diego. My cousin, the cousin that I hadn't seen in like a decade and a half, over a decade and a half, that I randomly, magically saw a few days before her birthday a few months ago, she lives in San Diego. Oh, for Lagoo at the bottom. Okay. I'll give it another shuffle. Why not travel while you can? While you can. All right. I want. Oh, there we go. Ooh. Oh, snap. Well, I might have to go see her. Eve, you might have to make another trip. You might have to make another trip to California this summer. Oh, but you said you were maybe going to Chicago this summer. So it's almost like either way, I might see you this summer. I mean, I guess you would have to also, Vein, weathercock fluid came out. Oh, bottom of the deck is Hagal. Bottom of the deck is Hagal weathering. There's almost like this frayed energy there. Um, so on Hang True comes Kanish, which is now health, which is cunning, and I learned to know. And then under Elks is Vein, weathercock fluid. But it's the same like light blue, dark blue. This is my solar eclipse room. So yeah, I mean, I learned to know on top of Hang True review. I feel like it's fairly self-explanatory. It also feels like this. I mean, it's up a little bit, but this could be the point where these two lines intersect. So as we're in that space of like review, there is something that we have the opportunity to not only learn, there's something that we have the opportunity to learn with the purpose of understanding. And I think that's where the egg timer of Hang True comes in. Or that's where the egg timer of Hang True can like sort of vary from person to person. Because it's as I learn to know. It's like if you hang in that hang true energy for a certain amount of time, like you learn and you begin to learn. You hang a little bit longer, then you begin to know. And if you stay too long or too short, then blah blah blah. Something happens or something doesn't happen. And it feels like the energy of Elks itself might shift and change as you hang there. And it feels like it's playing on the fluid nature of this for some reason. I just talked about fluid, water. And it's almost like as you're hanging in the hang true, so maybe since the solar eclipse in Aries on like the 29th of April, I think 28th, 29th, 30th. I think it was on the 29th. Since the solar eclipse in Aries, maybe that's what began this hang true period. And in this period, there are certain things that we can begin like knowing, or our knowing begins to accumulate in a space that involved like a lot of learning before. So I don't know if it's going to be like things that are making sense in a way that they didn't make sense before, or if there's an energy of like a coalescence, like multiple things. It's almost like when you get multiple pieces of information and then you begin to see the picture of the puzzle in front of you. It feels like with this fluidity of vein, like the again, that's like the cosmic elk coming forward, stepping forward more and more. And it feels like as it's doing that, the rune itself, it's like it's rounding out. And then it's like whenever you do the magic eye puzzle thingies or whatever. And it's like you have to like relax your gaze and look through the picture to see the greater picture that it makes. It's like as you do that, at first this starts to round out. And then as you hang a little longer in this hang true, when the knowing starts to kick in more so than just like that learning part, then it feels like you begin to see like that there's actually another thing here. Almost like double rainbow energy. But again, it's like you kind of sort of like gotta sit there, zone out, focus without focusing, try without trying, and then you'll see it sort of like also start to form, and then you do whatever. I I've only had so much Oracle juice. um, well, no, I feel like I need one more. I get one more. I don't know. Is it a 12? Yeah, it's a 12. 75 is hang true. Because it was feeling like a period of like 12 days. The standard hang true was like the 9, or the standard hanged man energy is like the 9 for the 9 days that Odin hangs. But y'all already know how I feel about Odin, so I don't need to go there. But it's still like half of a lunation cycle because that goes from new moon to full moon. Mind you, in like a period of the eclipse. And it makes me think of, I think, Amrun, the like queen of the dark elves or whatever. And in her entry in the Idrisil was like there are certain runes that you can only read in like under certain conditions of the moon. So if you're not hanging almost for like a full lunation cycle, then it's like, well, what about the waxing crescent runes or the waning gibbous runes or the waning crescent runes? Ooh, there we go. I don't think y'all saw it, but it flipped over inside the deck. Very acrobatic. Oh, well, imagine that. Imagine that. It's health. Health. Number 61. So it went from 72 to 61. It dropped by an 11. And again, like, it's interesting because this was the one that came out on top of the Hang True. I guess it's also interesting because I was just talking about the standard Odin Hangman 9 days, but for some reason Hang True was feeling like 12 days. But then I was like, oh, it's a 75-12. Maybe that's why. It was just feeling like 12 days. So let's get a raw rune on this. I'm still not quite fully reading these as I originally intended, but ooh, not on top of the Gathering. Gathering Doc Gaderung 64. And then there's Hagal again. Hagal again, but it came out like this. There are quite a few raw runes that fell out on top of Kanij. Oh, there's Wacken. 4 of them. Ing again, Water Metal Ignite. Lagoon Cosmic Ocean. Treadle, Tread Foot Soul. And then Wacken, Waken Originate, which is 75. So this is 75, and it fell out on top of the raw rune that's for the current 75 of Hang True. Interesting. So we have Ignite Water Meadow, the Cosmic Ocean, Tread, and then Wake and Originate. Because of the water, I'm almost being led more to the dock. But this could, because again, it's my solar eclipse room, it could be something between this eclipse period of like, what, 6 months or however many months until we have the next solar eclipse in. I don't know. Let's ask Google. Google's my favorite. I still have Bixby, but I just don't use it anymore. I'm sorry, Bixby, but I can't like control the lights with Bixby. I had to get Google Assistant. Hey Google, when is the next solar eclipse?
April 8th, 2024. According to NASA Solar System Exploration, the Monday, April 8th, 2024, total solar eclipse will cross North America, passing over Mexico, the United States, and Canada.
What? No. Hold up. Hold up, 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 hold up. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. No, this can't be accurate information. This can't be. Here we go. October 14th, 2023 is the annular solar eclipse. Oh, that's why we're not telling. Yeah, it is October 14th. That's all. And then October 8th is the next total solar eclipse. But we do have an annular. I love the picture that they used because it feels like a giant crescent moon. Interesting. Anyway, October 14th. Okay, so from like now, this could be like October 14th because it is like another solar eclipse room. I want to look at the astrology. I think Pluto goes direct somewhere around there. I think it stations direct somewhere around like October 10th, maybe. Maybe. Excuse me. I should have just went to the thing. Pluto turns direct on October 10th. And then on the 14th, oh yeah, the solar eclipse. Die. Moon. Oh, Mercury opposes Chiron. I don't know. Anyway. Anyway. And then there is this gathering, this Gatoron. See, I wanted to pull a third one to represent the lunar eclipse because it's like this is a solar eclipse, and then on the solar eclipse, there's this thing that gets closer and closer and closer, which could obviously be the time between the solar eclipse and whatever else. But then it's taking me all the way to the next solar eclipse. So while Pluto is retrograding, and I guess Pluto did come out with the energy of the free flowing water, but with the cosmic ocean of Lagoon after that ing, it feels like that the unbound self, the unbound water pools. And I don't know if there will be something that happens in October that plays on something that we're in the process of going. Like if we initiate something on like April 29th, and then on October 14th is Libra, right? I guess the nodes will be in Aries Libra by then, so it makes sense. Oh, and we had a solar eclipse in Aries. So it's interesting in that regard, at least, that it's not going to be a solar eclipse in Scorpio. Because this solar eclipse was technically early since we're like in the Scorpio Taurus axis. It's like technically it was supposed to be a new moon Taurus solar eclipse and a full moon Scorpio lunar eclipse since we're still in this axis. But it came early in Aries and it's gonna in this year finish in Libra. So something about this almost is a little bit of a like a sneaky peeky type of energy. Oh, all that. Now we got the lunar eclipses because I just wonder if there's like one or two. Is there one or is there two? Is there? Oh no! I need a list. I want a list of all of them, please. Give me a list, please. Give me a list. I need a list. Here we go. Here we go. Thank you. Oh, wow. So October 28th to 29th, lunar eclipse, partial lunar eclipse. So there's only 4 eclipses this year. We don't get 6. Snow. Oh, snap. I wish we got some. Okay, I don't. I don't wish that we got snow because it would probably destroy anything that's trying to grow right now. But I wouldn't mind a little snow. This is so interesting. What was that? This is so interesting. The part that gets me is treadle and whacking. But all of this came out over here. Since all of these fell out over here, So this is maybe it's clarifying the things that we're learning to get to know right now. So again, it feels like it's basically the span of this Pluto retrograde at this point, basically, loosely. It was a few days after the solar eclipse that Pluto retrograded, and it's going to be a few days before um, the next solar eclipse that Pluto goes direct. But since these four came out over here, it's like the waters are starting to melt now. It's so because it's the cosmic ocean, it feels like that is this cosmic deer. I don't know if we see the reflection of the cosmic deer in the ocean or if the deer is this cosmic ocean in terms of like, you know how water fits whatever vessel it is poured into. It's just like water that just takes the shape of a deer and moves, girl. As if it were in a deer shaped bottle or an elk shaped bottle. But there's nothing, it's almost like there's nothing besides like the electromagnetic force that cosmic deer emits that keeps the water in that shape and in that form. But because Treadle and Awaken, again, because these came out on this one, this feels like it's a process that unfolds over time. Then we get Awakening. Okay, that makes sense. The Awaken part, or the Awaken originate, more so the Awaken part of Wacken. The Awaken part of Wacken feels like that understanding of like the higher self, the free self, the self that exists outside of the self. But with this Treadle, it's like it depends on how we walk our path in this time. And then clarifying this health is Gatorung, Gatorung. And so it feels like on the second solar eclipse, that's when something really comes together. Again, it might be like that's the point in time where we use a bunch of whatever that we're gathering, learning, living until then. So again, like that's the entirety of the Pluto retrograde. The nodes are going to shift in that point in time. Other planets are going to retrograde and go direct, of course. But because of this, I almost wonder if there isn't like because this is a solar to solar thing. I almost wonder if there isn't another like lunar to lunar thing because it'll be full moon Scorpio lunar eclipse and then a full moon Taurus lunar eclipse at the end of October. But it might be because this is health and it's not cunning. But because this is health, it's like, and this is gathering. That's like what I was saying earlier. That's how all of the different organs, all of the different types of scale cells, the food we eat, and all that stuff. It's how all of that goes towards making like a functioning body. And I don't know if this is like within the self, if it's with other people, if it's both, if it's neither. And two, in the gathering rune, like those two lines don't touch. It's the Gatorung of health. Cool. Well, so now I'm gonna do a final rune, and I'm gonna try to do these as I actually intended to. Right? You don't get me for 2 hours today. You're welcome. Also, I got stuff to do. Well, I'm probably just gonna take it easy for the rest of today, but I got stuff to think about doing tomorrow. Why do today what you can do tomorrow when you have time? Why do today what need not be done until tomorrow? There you go. That's not something that I live by anymore. Oh, so at the cut, oh, it's another 9. 54. 12. 12 is 66 now, so it increased in 12. Health dropped by 11 from 72 to 61. 12 increased by 12 from 54 to 66. But this feels like, but this is what I was talking about. Like, this is the self, this is the higher self, this is the bound self, the immutable truth within. Well, you know, it's like the immutable truth within is kind of like, anyway, live life, find out. If it resonates, it resonates. If it don't take it. But like, this is the bound self, this is the unbound self, but it feels like this is the important part. The connection or the line of communication between these two, seemingly, and this is like quantum. This is like a quantum link between these. In the yellow plane, if I were to apply a color that would mute the blue in this, you would only see the yellow, right? But it's like, because it's in this neutral light, we see the connection in these two seemingly separate bodies, but we know that they're connected because we see the connection. Again, without that, they would be like these two atoms floating out in space, quantumly linked. Anyway. Ooh, they do make green. Do I have any green on the table? Oh, both of these are green. Oh, look at it. Look at it. Look at it. See the blue around the yellow health and how it almost has similar vibes to the green around Hang True? So this cosmic deer is leading us somewhere. Feels like cosmic deer is going to come in and guide us from one place into another over the course of this Pluto retrograde. It's all about Pluto today, apparently. Pluto is the one that's thawing water, but it makes sense because Pluto's in Aquarius now, and Aquarius is the water bearer, and the water bearer pours out the water from its container. When Pluto was in Capricorn, it was like filling up the jug. When Pluto's in Aquarius, it's like when Pluto retrograded, it's like, oops, I knocked over the jug. Oh no. I hope no thirsty flowers get watered. I hope there aren't any thirsty seeds that need a little bit of this water to finally germinate. I wonder if it bolted though. It's like, oh, gotta get back to Capricorn. It's, oh no, I forgot the stove on. Don't want to blow up the house. Oh, and then it just went everywhere on the floor. I'm gonna leave those on the floor because I'm not picking them up right now. You hear that? Anybody who goes on the floor stays on the floor. One final rune, please. One final rune. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Oh, well, of course. Bottom of the deck is Thorn, number 3. Guess what card came out? Number 3. I got my one rune. Oh, I see you. This is almost giving me, I think it's Bezalel, the Angel of Shadows, the one I was like, I used to always see that I never see anymore. Because it feels like there's a figure here. Like this is like orange hair, and then it's like this figure. But it feels like there's also a figure, like this is a hill and this is a tree. Like there's a figure sitting right here. So it's like there's a figure sitting here, there's a figure here, and it's giving me Bezalel because it's like I don't like it's as I'm seeing these figures more so in the camera than in the card. It feels like they're the same, but they might not be. The card that came out, the single card. You ready? Are you ready? It's hard. Unseeing. Unseeing and hooded. You gotta be in the hang true to see the deer. To see the deer, you gotta be there. All right. Raw rune. Ooh. Oh. I'm making all the weird noises. Let's blame the alcohol. It was the Oracle juice. So 2 cards came out. And it's Seed Void and Bifrost Journey Home. Ganunga Gap and Hamforeld. Both of these retain their numerical position, I'm pretty sure. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I get it. I get it. I get it. Do you get it? Do you understand? I'm going to show you this. You can rewind a few seconds if you want. If you're watching this not live, even if you're watching it live and you want to go back a few minutes, you can. Here's context. Here's the context. The context is hooded, and unseeing. Here's the context, right? There's a little bit more context that I literally just said before I was like, as I was getting the final ones. You get it? Do you get it? Do you get it? I'm gonna get you. I'll give you a hint. Okay, are you ready for your hint? I'm gonna give you a hint. Here's your first hint. Here's your first hint. And here's your second hint. And then specifically this blue line, that's when I was like, if there were a filter or whatever, we wouldn't even see this blue line that connects these two. I also talked about how these two don't touch in gathering. But in Hamforeld, we see the same black and the same yellow, but now we see this connection in between the two of them. We see this connection that is otherwise ordinarily hooded, shrouded, unseen. That's why I just randomly cut to 12th in the middle of the deck and was like, yeah, this card is like almost quantum. That's it. This is some like, so it's feeling like, and then Candle came out. It was Candle and whatever other card came out with Candle. No, it wasn't Health. But when I read Candle was the only poem that I read. And it mentioned Hod and Baldur, 2 keys to the blah, 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 blah. 2 keys. We got these 2 that don't touch to the blah, 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 blah. So it feels like the first part of Hod is getting these 2 in the Gadarung to like line up and sort of form, like to line up into this configuration to form that sort of connection between the two of them, modeled by 12, but not necessarily applied in a 12th way. Because like on the other side of this is a purple. I don't know if you can see it. One side of the line is blue, one side of the line is purple that connects the two of them. But it feels like after you form this connection, you have to magnetize this in a way that closes the gap and forms this Ganunga gap. So it's like, here's Gadarung, right? And then you sort of get them here, and then you have to like pull them together, and then you get this Ganunga gap. And this, the way that I drew this, there's like this void, but there's also like the shadow of another behind it. There you go. What my mama want. Oop. Oh well. I feel like I still didn't read this as I wanted to read it. Oh, so it's these two aren't. I literally just talked about this when I combined the Lafruma with the mystical shaman oracle cards. And I was like, as I was watching Russ, I forget which video it was that he did, but he held up he got the Bifrost and the rune like for several days in the eclipse tunnel. But one day when he held up the Bifrost rune, like I could see the background from night in it, but the troll wasn't there. So it's like, oh, the troll is guarding the Bifrost bridge. And I was talking about how, because, typically the Bifrost bridge, as it connects worlds or realms or whatever, you walk through space on the background of night with all of the stars. And then the heart of the sky came out as somebody who saw somebody going across the Bifrost bridge and was like, oh, snap. Like they've been using these pathways for a hot minute. Could be cosmic elk. Cosmic elk could be sent or related to the heart of the sky. But it's like it's the journey through the void, or it's a journey across, like the void is space. There's this planet and the planet that we're going to, there's the here, and then there's home. And we journey across like the void of space. And this void of space feels like, I don't know if this is Hod's journey, but because Hod is blind, low hanging fruit. But because Hod is blind, it's almost like no matter what path he takes, it'll be through that sort of like void. It'll be through darkness. But in the way that there are stars on the cosmic backdrop, there are other like senses and things that he has, of course. If it resonated, take it. And then under that is calc, anchored mortared. This was at the bottom of the deck. Calc, anchored mortared. And I'm just, see, it's like that. It's, I don't necessarily take it if it resonates, don't take it if it doesn't. But like that calc anchored mortared configuration isn't necessarily Bifrost, but it is a 7. So I don't know if like this calc anchored mortared is almost like a potential intermediary step on the way to like assembling the Bifrost. I don't know if that's like a different journey or what. I don't know. I don't know. So this is the journey. See, but it also feels like because Hod is Hod, it's almost like from the outside, it reads as a journey through the void, but in the world of Hod, it isn't. Because it's just like, Hod is blind. So that journey isn't necessarily any different than any other journey that he's ever been on. You know what I mean? It's not particularly darker than any other journey, but it just feels like, I don't know, it's reading as like from the outside it may look one way or however it looks, but for the person on the journey, for the person hanging true as the cosmic, it makes me think of Mooncat. Um, and I have the Archeo right here. I'm gonna do it because I can. Um, it makes me think of Mooncat in the Archeo and how it talked about how like Mooncat moves in these seeming like in these unpredictable ways with these random movements that aren't logical. Like you can tell that Mooncat is doing what it's doing for a reason. Good night, Eve. You can tell that Hyde is like navigating his journey in the way that he's used to navigating because he's lived with his blindness. But to someone from the outside who knows that Hod is blind, they're like, oh my gosh, like, how is he doing this? How is he doing that? Like, he's gonna run into the whatever. And it's like, no, he's not. He's used to it by this point in time. You know what I mean? I just want one of these. Who are you? Duende? Two cards came out. It's Duende and Survivor. I haven't seen either one of these come out. But this one is the one where I'm like, because Thorn, yeah, remember, because Thorn is at the bottom of the deck. And I was like, this Thorn is 333. Is Gar 33? Yeah, 333 at the bottom of the deck. What's 3 plus 3 plus 3? 9. 3339. There's Hagal again. And under the 9 of Hagal is a 21-3 of Lagu. It's all 3s and 9s at the bottom of the deck. 333, 9, 21. Anyway. Duende and the Survivor. Oh, yeah, because I was like, it's giving me that Bezalel. I don't know if these two are necessarily the same person. I have no clue. But I'm going to read these real quick. I know, I'm always like, oh, I'll end this. And then I was like, it's like DU. Here we go. The Duende is a spirit of the deepest creativity. A silent sound. A silent sound. It's not blind Hod, but it is one sense. The Duende is a spirit of the deepest creativity, a silent sound, a struggle that surges up from the soles of our feet. It is of blood, ancient culture, and action, and it calls us out. Without it, our artistic works will be tepid and superficial, yet with it, our nerve endings become exposed and raw. It comes with full force or not at all, burning through us, searing away our resistance, which is kind of what Calc, it was Per than Calc. The Duende fires us with a power far beyond our normal capacity for expression, making us an outlet of profound art and music. Both primitive and highly sophisticated, its presence sets alight the core of our potential. It is the passionate specter of the earth, a hobgoblin muse demanding that we open ourselves to all possibilities. With guttural songs summoned from the caves of our souls, it accepts no lies. The Duende is nearby, a pregnant and overwhelming power that is life, fate, and the consummation of risk and knowledge. It is not a mere concept, but a very real presence. Made visible, it is huge, potent, patient, and less tolerant than anything the human will can grasp. It is a bittersweet bliss that will infiltrate the bloodstream like a toxin. It is life loved and lived with the greatest of passions. But if that love is lost, the Duende leaves us with with an inconsolable grief. But then there's the Survivor here, so we'll survive it. Do I read the Survivor? I feel like I don't really need to. I will. Why not? I will also acknowledge the Survivor. The Survivor has been called many names: ragamuffin, urchin, gutter snipe, tatterdemalion. But at his core, he's a proudly independent forager. Some might try to label him amoral, but when the center fails to hold and things fall apart, leaving the landscape a wreck of hardship, then the survivor's ethics become apparent. He functions in the gaps left by inequality and has no fear of draconian authority. Always the shrewd pragmatist, he makes certain that he and his companions never starve. Whether it be city, desert, jungle, or forest, the survivor is a master in the art of survival. A chameleon who can navigate any territory with ease. He moves by instinct, unearthing whatever he needs. When there's a shortage of food or money, the survivor will find a way to provide. When shelter is needed, he will locate a roof and a dry bed. Never selfish, he's practical and gives without question to his fellow dispossessed. No matter what misfortune chance throws against him, he remains undaunted, turning difficulty to advantage with admirable dexterity. He is independent and refuses point blank to be patronized and oppressed. The world has always produced artful dodgers, from Cannery Row, where Mac and the boys exhibited their oft misplaced generosity and endearing endurance, to the back alleys of Whitechapel, where Fagin taught young Twist the finer arts of fingersmithing. The survivor is the epitome of our indomitable nature and our dogged capacity to adapt and endure. Oh, I mean, in a certain context, I feel like that, again, it can speak to how Hyde has learned to live with his blindness. Which is interesting. Because I feel like everybody loved Balder, and everyone was so grief stricken when he died. And then Ragnarok happens, and Hod is, killed because of it, as if everyone weren't playing the game. Hod just won it because of Loki. Anyway, that part is irrelevant. It's like there's so much focus on the Balder, and then Balder's time in hell with Hell. But it's like, what if Hod? Almost. I think there's something here too. It's like help from the other side type of energy almost. It's like when certain circumstances happen in life and you don't know what you're going to do or how you're going to get through it, then the divine opens up some doorway of possibility or leads you to cross paths with a kind stranger or whatever. Almost, but there's something about this duende that I just like. It means I don't know. Bottom of the deck is the Inventor. We've seen the Inventor recently. The Inventor with the Strategist. The Inventor and the Strategist is definitely, like, those two together, definitely Survivor energy. But because of the Inventor, it feels like the Inventor gets inspiration from the Duende. But with the Inventor and the Strategist, it feels like this is more on the strategist's ability to discern or to receive the message, and then the resourcefulness that it takes to actually see that thing like manifest or to actually put that information into play rather than it just being this information that the survivor receives but like doesn't use. It's active. It also, I know I did a reading recently where I mentioned there was like an energy that felt like in the movie Soul, how when artists are doing their art thing, it puts them very like adjacent to like the divine and inspiration and stuff like that. I don't remember the specific context, but as I was reading the Duende, it made me think of that. Let's see. I don't know if this is a Google question or not, but I'll do my best. Hey Google, how do you pronounce Duende?
Here's what I found.
Colombian. Ooh. It's bringing up a video.
There is absolutely nothing going on.
Girl, this video was not sponsored by Disney Plus.
Pronouncenames.com.
El Duende. El Duende. So it is Duende. Okay, cool. All right. I wonder if hot just has other sight. That would be kind of wild, low key. Like if Hyde has a sight from like beyond the veil, but lives on this side of the veil. Anyway, oof, that was the final one, and now I am going to attempt to find the 15 runes that fell on the floor. 16. I'm a grandmother. Give me a minute. Oh, I see these because it felt like they hit the floor and split. Like some went over here. So over here it's oh gosh, look who it is. If you yeah, I wouldn't believe it if I weren't holding them in my hands right now. 10 and 11. Shadows and night on one side. And you know how it is here. Shadows and night on one side. And it felt like some of them went over here. That's what it felt like. I guess I could count them. Guess I'll count them. Because I know there's 78 runes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70. 1, 2, 3. Did I count these wrong? 78 plus 2 title cards is 80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, which is 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm missing 4. Oh, gosh. It's fine. I can do all this. Oh, no. I should, like, I want to try to look because I want to see who's missing. Go under the bed. Oh, wait. I see one. Here we go. I didn't look far enough. Oh, here's another one. We got Fame 56. We saw this one. So we had Night and Shadows. And now we have Vein of Things Turning. So there's 77 plus the 0 of Ganunga Gap, and then there's 2 title cards. So altogether, there's 80. There's the collective thank you, and then there's the attribution. Oh, and here's 2 more. So there was, okay. So Shadows and Night fell out here. And then beyond that fell this turning point. And then over here fell these 2. Pick them up face down. It's Condor and Kin. Torch, Divine Spark, and then Cosmic Doubt Ulcer. But these 2 together, wild. Candle and Condor, Hod and Balder, the macro, the micro, 2 locks on one door, 2 flames, not the same, but lit from one match. Our fears show and ulcers grow. Our fears, especially in here, but also in here, our fears show and ulcers grow. Trust the ether light you fears not sincere. We hide inside the burning doubt and ought to shout, but don't. Treasures of others inspire covetous desires. Those avarice bounties, avaricious, CIOUS, avaricious. Those avaricious bounties are pain's reins, pulling at our bridled lives. Stop chomping at the wrong bit. The cosmic well, yeah, has gifts etched only in your name if you will just unlock. We already saw the candle. Here's the candle with the Ken. Ken is Torch and Divine Spark. I'm not going to read it, but this one also mentioned Hod and Baldur. And again, Hod came out. And maybe again it's that understanding that like Hod has a completely different relationship with night and also with shadow. Like Hod doesn't necessarily see shadow because he's blind. And because Hod is blind, there's not much difference between the night and the daytime. And then again we have this the turning of the weathercock. Interesting. That was fun. I was like, oh wow, look at that. I guess I'll count them again just to make sure. So this is Feor. Is this the same then? Hold up. Now I gotta look. Now I gotta look. So it might have already been changed before. Like it might have changed in the first Raw edition. Because I think when Reem raked it, it was Perth. Does it matter? I guess. I mean, I'm already this far into the room, so might as well. Might as well keep going. Yeah, Feor, and it's 30. So it changed by the time the first Raw set was posted up. There we go. I am going to give these another count and another shuffle. I guess I'll also get another final card because why not? It wasn't complete. Nope, I'm not. Because I was already like, you fell on the floor. You don't want to be here. You don't have to be. Wordhammer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Who's missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. Maybe I double counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That was 3 cards I picked up, wasn't it? Oh, I was 4 short. I was 4 short and not 3 short, which means there's one more rune hiding somewhere. After all, I'm glad I counted again because I was so confident that I got all of them. So, Hod came out. We've seen the night and shadows turn into the divine spark, but there's doubt, of course, because people. Because people being people. Ugh. Ouch. Where are you? I'm just like sticking my hand down here and hoping for the best. Shaky camera. Hold on. Maybe I should actually look. Who is missing? Wait, what if it's one still in the box or in the bag? You know what? It is my personal theory and philosophy / it has become my personal practice to allow cards to show up whenever they want to show up. But I will check the bag. Is anyone in here? No. No, I'm curious. Like I said, I'll leave it off. All right. To what? Bunko. Is that if that's Spanish? I haven't learned middle names yet. Wordhammer. Have a enjoyable bunko. Wordhammer. Weirdness, the all ruined apple bearer. Fruit bearing and offerings. Thorn. Giant portal. Are at Burstin. Burst out free. These are all the 10 different, or the 8 different piles I have. O for Lagoo. Embraced mirrored. Ool. Owl senses. Towardness. Future Briar Scold. And Perv. Pear Tree. Cosmic Surge. All right. Top of the deck is Win, Bliss Comfort, which was what the first room and the raw rooms that I saw. With that, I hope you all have an amazing whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I wish you all the best along your path, journey, and way as you find out, seek, learn, know whatever is for you to discover. I hope you the ability to, once you found your truth, semi effortlessly at the very least, be able to live in it. Excuse me. And just in general, I hope that whatever you need along your path journey anyway, you find. No problem. And I will see y'all for I still want to do the affirmators at some point. I still want to finish the Zodiac. Maybe I'll record like 1 or 2. Those I'm going to pre-record because I pre-recorded the other ones. But the form, like, they're going to be slightly different. I don't even know if I'm going to go back and find that video clip. Maybe I will for the sake of consistency and just for like funsies. But I do want to finish the Raw Room series. I know I've been saying it for at least probably like a week and a half now, but that's something that is weighing on me to do. So expect that expect is a strong word. Expect is a strong word. Expect at least one video within the next year to be posted. The sign, if you're curious, the signs that I've already done are not this one. I have like 3 series of sticky notes still up that I haven't done, or at least 2. I have 2 series. I've done Capricorn, Scorpio, Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, and Sagittarius. So I still have Aries, Taurus, Cancer, Leo, Libra, and is that it? Aquarius to go. If you're curious. If not, then now you know anyway.